UFC Fight Night Noche takes place this weekend, and I'm going to be predicting the entire card, starting off with the prelims, starting off with Rodrigo Sedriques versus Danny Donchenko. Now, with these early prelim fights, they are kind of just coin flips, and I'm not really too familiar with both of these guys' games. So you kind of got to go off external fact. And with the way that both these guys are looking at me, look, I'm seeing Sedriques he's looking at me, he's doubting himself. You know what I mean? There's doubt behind those eyes. Look at Donchenko, and he looks like Yuri Prohaska Part 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming! So I'm going to pick a Donchenko round 2 knockout via head kick. I'm going to be honest. That's what I'm picking. Moving on. Montserrat Rendon versus Pereira. Pereira is the youngest female fighter in UFC history. She is like 19 years of age, and she's going against a 36-year-old in Rendon. Now, there will be a speed advantage, and I will be picking Pereira to win because I feel like she's just the faster kickboxer over this. I'm not going to call her old because that's a little bit rude, but this older fighter in Rendon. I'm going to pick a win by decision for Pereira, where she looks pretty good. She'll get tagged up a few times, but I think her speed advantage will get her through this one. Hopefully anyway, because imagine she loses her debut. All hype down the drain. Moving on. Alessandro Costa versus Aiden Corral. Now, Alessandro Costa is one of these guys he's not good enough to be ranked, but he's going to beat these bottom feeder guys. So he's got wins over, Jimmy Flick, Kevin Borjas, but he's lost to the guys like Amir Albazi, Steve Erceg. He's not that level where he's going to be ranked, or probably even be as close to ranked. I think Charles Johnson would probably KO him. I think Lona Kavanagh would beat him as well. He's kind of just that mid-level guy. And I think Aiden Corral isn't good enough to beat him. I don't think he's that level, at least at this point in his career, where he's that level where he's going to either be ranked or be close to ranked. So I'm going to pick a Costa decision. A lot of control time is probably going to be close to getting finished when Costa gets the back, because when he gets that back, he flattens you out, but then I think he'll find his way to a decision. I think Corral will find a way to survive, and I'm going to pick Alessandro Costa to win this one by decision. Moving on, Zachary Reese versus Sedriques Dumas. Listen, I don't trust Sedriques Dumas to stay out of prison, let alone beat Zachary Reese in a fight. Sedriques Dumas, his last fight, I shit you not, got cancelled because he couldn't get a judge to take off his ankle monitor. Zachary Reese is going to maul this guy. I'm seeing a round 1 KO for Zachary Reese. Sedriques Dumas gets cut from the UFC. He then goes and crashes out, commits some sort of crime, and gets put back into prison. That's my official prediction for this fight and the remainder of Sedriques Dumas' life. Moving on. Jesus Aguilar versus Luis Gurule. I don't know what Dana White saw in Luis Gurule when he won his fight in the Contender Series. It's not like he even got like an impressive performance where he knocked the guy out inside round number 1. It was a split decision. Jesus Aguilar, he lost to Rafael Esteban in one of the only fights that Esteban actually made weight for, by the way. He's missed weight like 3 times in the UFC for 4 fights. And the one time he didn't miss weight, it was against Jesus Aguilar, and he beat Jesus Aguilar. So he's got some pretty alright wins in the UFC. Nothing really too special, but I think he's much better than Luis Gurule. I'm going to pick Jesus Aguilar to win this one. I'm going to pick him to get it done by decision. Moving on. Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. This is probably the easiest pick on the card for me. It's a 3-round fight. I don't see Tatiana Suarez gassing out after round 1 again. And on top of that, it's not against a fighter who is much stronger than her in Zhang Weili. It's against Amanda Lemos. Lemos is mid. It's a complete layup for Tatiana Suarez. I'm going to pick her to win by decision. Patchy Mix is going to be watching from the crowd. Still no head movement from Patchy Mix, even when he's jumping up and down and celebrating, because he's never learned how to move his head. Yoel Romero has more head movement than Patchy Mix, and his cervical region of his neck is fused together, and he still has more head movement than Patchy Mix. Yeah, so I'm going to pick Tatiana Suarez to win. Patchy kind of took a little stray at the end there, but all this hype around you, you don't even fucking move your head. You throw a 1-2 every 2 minutes. Moving on. Claudio Puelles versus Joaquim Silva. I don't know why Joaquim Silva looks like he's just hopped out of the tanning bed. Puelles is a very underrated fighter inside that UFC lightweight division. Listen, nothing wrong with losing to Ferreira. Lost to Dan Hooker as well, body kick. I mean, he had Dan Hooker in a few knee bars. Dan Hooker he's too dumb to tap, you know what I mean? And knee bars don't really work or at high level MMA. It's the same with heel hooks. Don't really work in high level MMA anymore. However, Joaquim Silva is a 37-year-old man, and he's kind of part of that generation of fighters who would get submitted by guillotines, heel hooks, knee bars. So I can see this happening. I can see Claudio Puelles getting him into a knee bar. He will tap to it. So I'm saying a round 2 submission for Claudio Puelles. I think he beats Joaquim Silva and gets himself back in the win column. So I'm saying a round 2 submission for Claudio Puelles. Moving on. Jose Daniel Melida, Dustov Todorovic. Todorovic, you know what I'm thinking for this fight? I'm thinking round one. Todorovic is going to come out there. He's going to start swinging. He's going to have Melida in danger. I think he survives round number one. I think Todorovic is going to beat the shit out of him inside round number one, gas himself out. Melida's going to come back inside round number two, start peppering him with a jab, sticking him a few times, win round number two, and then have a competitive third round and win the fight 29-28. That's my prediction for this fight. That's exactly how this fight will go. And then Todorovic will get cut from the UFC. Bye-bye, Sneeko. Moving on. Alessandro Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira. Hernandez is coming off a good win to Chase Hooper. And we look at Diego Ferreira. Listen, nothing wrong with losing to Grant Dawson by decision. Nothing wrong with getting TKO'd by Mateusz Gamrot. I think Carlos Diego Ferreira will knock out Alexander Hernandez in round number one. I'm saying a counter right hook or a check right hook, whatever you want to call it, for Carlos Diego Ferreira catches Alexander Hernandez on the chin, puts him down, and then Ferreira follows up with 2 big shots of ground and pound. Referee steps in. That's what I'm saying for this fight. 3 minutes into the fight, Carlos Diego Ferreira knocks him out with a right hook. Moving on to the main card. Santiago Luna versus Quang Lee. Well, this fight has been cancelled. This fight doesn't exist anymore. Moving on. Kelvin Gastelum. Look at him. Look at those wide hips. Kelvin Gastelum missed weight for this fight by 5 whole pounds. He weighed in 191 pounds. Kelvin, what the fuck are we doing, bro? He's going to be fighting Dustin Stolschwitz. I'm picking Kelvin Gastelum to win. If Kelvin loses, damn near cut this guy from the UFC. Kelvin, get your weight under control. It's not, you should be a welterweight. This guy is 5'9" with 71-inch reach. He should not be fighting 185 pounds and missing weight at 185 pounds. Kelvin, get your diet under control. Learn how to cut weight like a professional fighter. Either way, I think he's going to win. I'm going to say 29-28 decision. It's not Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Gustov. Ignore that. Moving on. Rafa Garcia versus Jared Gordon. I think Jared Gordon, very underrated. Arguably beat Paddy Pimblett. I'm going to say, I say arguably like he didn't fucking win that fight completely and get robbed. Arguably beat Hash Paras 2 fights ago. Jared Gordon's a very underrated fighter, but he's just outside the rankings. He's roughly about, ranked 16th to 20th inside the lightweight division. I think he's going to have to beat Rafa Garcia, and I think he catches him overhand right, round 2, KO. Yeah. Jared Gordon's very underrated, and I think he's very good. Moving on. Rob Font versus David Martinez. Martinez taking this fight on short notice. I thought Rob Font was going to beat fucking Chihuihuis, I forgot his name. Raul Rosas Jr. I thought Rob Font was going to beat Raul Rosas Jr. I think he definitely beats David Martinez. I'm going a Rob Font classic. 30-27 decision for Rob Font. Beats him up on the feet. Martinez shoots for a takedown, gets it for about a minute. Font works his way back up to his feet, and then goes back to peppering with jabs and piecing him up on the feet in the boxing exchanges. So David Martinez is not ready for this level of competition. We're going to get a Rob Font classic with this one, boys. Moving on to the main event. I said in my prediction video yesterday for the main event prediction that I thought Diego Lopes was going to win. And I said this because I thought Gene Silva looked pretty bad going backwards. I've rewatched some of his fights, and I think I was just chatting out my... Sorry about that. Someone was at the door. What the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, I was rewatching some of Gene Silva's fights, and I realized he's actually not that bad on the back foot. But I don't care. I'm standing my base. I'm sticking Diego Lopes round 1 KO, right hook, landing on the chin of Gene Silva. A fast, sharp, powerful right hook lands on the chin of Gene Silva as he's backing out of the clinch or backing out of an exchange. That's my predictions for these fights. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.